Welcome back to Everything Entrepreneurship, the podcast with Kyle Jerome Carter. I'm Kyle Jerome Carter, or KJC, full name initials, doesn't matter as long as you use one of the two. And we got another great episode with you. Today we're talking about everything entrepreneurship. And I truly mean that. I brushed up on it on the first episode, but I'm really going to dive a little bit deeper um, into why I'm here, who I am, and the backstory behind it all, right? Um, Yeah. So I want to say shout out to everybody that's been tuning in and watching the podcast or listening to the podcast. Um, Looking at my statistics, do I have a million downloads yet? A million viewers and listeners and stuff like that yet? No. But for the sheer amount of people that are entrepreneurs, as well as the vast number of people that become and choose to be entrepreneurs every single day, we will hit a million people soon. Shout out to San Francisco and shout out to Oregon. Obviously, shout out Philadelphia and Jersey. I can see exactly we're in close proximity where most of the people that are rocking with the episode are, and that's where they are right now. So I want to say shout out to you guys. I appreciate that. You know, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So I don't have all my eggs in one basket of if this episode doesn't go viral, then I'm just gonna be sad and depressed and stuff like that. No, 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 no. I'm providing a real value. I'm going to make sure that each one of these episodes documents an aspect of entrepreneurship and how you can overcome it, whether it be a conceptual or practical way. Um, Again, when you look at this for the long haul, you're not just worried about the short term reward. Another aspect of being an entrepreneur that you need to have, right? So, without further ado, it sounds pretty proper and pretty formal, but it feels good. It flows. So without further ado, everything entrepreneurship. Why did I make it? Well, as you know, I have my own company, SVSM. It's a digital media marketing agency. Your companies, corporations, brands, whatever it may be. Primarily the acceleration and growth of a business via marketing and digital media. I like marketing. That's what I do. Like, I'm a marketer. Am I the best? No. Am I trying to be the best? Yes, because why else try something, right? I consider myself more of a marketing strategist than a marketing specialist. However, both titles fit me. I look at it in a holistic way. It helps that I have a business when I can help businesses with their marketing. Not to nerd out, even though I might touch on it a little bit later because I love those conversations. Like whenever I'm just teaching somebody or just walking people through something as it pertains to marketing, not just surface level, but we can really dig deep into just consumer psychology and the reasons why people buy and why they want to buy and what influences them. That's fun for me. I won't bore you with that. We're just talking about just the broad stroke of entrepreneurship right now, or at least this first part of the episode. And when I look at my brand, when I evaluate how I move, what I represent, what I embody everything entrepreneurship, from the goods to the bads. Um, Gone through a lot of gone through a lot of stuff, and what I haven't gone through, I've helped people through. I've seen others through, and I'm the person that's going to give this perspective because though I've helped people myself, and though I've been helped, I'm also, oh, it just went dark. I'm also very familiar and in rooms with people that provide coaching, guidance in whatever level, shape, or form in entrepreneurship. And 9 times out of 10, the people that they help, it's not all success stories, which is just that's just how it is. However, I truly wanted to find a way to use my platform to help the success rate of people that get into entrepreneurship and people that are already in entrepreneurship as well. Um, for the numbers or for the rate, I don't have the exact statistics, but for the statistics to be so skewed, and if I take on 10 people, only one or two people is going to be successful. And then when you take somebody at a very high level and maybe like 3 or 4 people can be successful, what about those 9, 10? What about those 7, 8? What about those 6, 7 people that still deserve to have success as an entrepreneur, but fail for whatever reason, whether it's they just couldn't take it anymore, they don't have anything else left in the tank, they're just frustrated, whatever it might be. Everything entrepreneurship is an extension to allow you the guidance and give you what you need to get past and through the roadblocks and detours along the journey of entrepreneurship. Um, I'm creating what's called the prerequisite. I've referenced it before if you've seen some of my other videos. The prerequisite is literally going to be that. It's a formal, informal introduction and bar setter of what it means to be an entrepreneur and what it takes. Though what I'm saying is foundational, it is not basic. These are the things that early, aspiring, and new entrepreneurs need to know. But this is also something that veteran entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, full-blown profitable business owners go back to and have to make sure that is on point at all times. And it varies. Sometimes I'm talking some mindset, some overly woo-woo stuff. And then other times it's just you have to just do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. It is what it is, right? But when I first compiled a list of everything I could think of that could stop, hinder, or just slow down an entrepreneur in their journey, that list was so long. And then I did some more research to figure out what else I could add to that list, right? And when I took that list, I came up with almost 200 different things that I could talk about in depth for an hour, 2 hours alone. 200 things that can stop somebody along that journey. And whereas I'm a marketer, but I'm still a business owner. And my heart is so big that I want to help others. So this is, I don't want to say it's free content, but it's community service content. You feel me? I'm giving out content in the form of podcast this way, as well as on YouTube and even on Instagram, that is good enough for somebody to pay for, but doesn't have to pay for with money. You're paying with your attention, right? Full transparency. You're paying with your attention, but I'd rather your attention be on, even if it's not me, something that's going to progress you forward instead of something that's going to hinder you or hold you back. So got my company, got my business, doing my thing, right? SVSM. But when it comes to me, when it comes to KJC, on my off time, when I'm not working, I want to help others. And not only do I want to help others, but I want to leave something behind that can help others to come. Now, granted, some of these tips and tricks and ways around this stuff can change with the times, but I like to do enough research initially to have this be cemented that is timeless, right? If you throw something up, it's coming down. A year from now, if you throw it up, it's still coming down. Gravity isn't a theory, it's a law for a reason, right? So do these need to be laws? No, but I like to make these principles, or at least the things that I'm talking about and referencing. So where am I getting at with this? Where I'm getting at is, though in the first episode, I talked about goals. And as we progressed right now, I talked about a couple different topics. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I want to give aspiring and new entrepreneurs, even the serial entrepreneurs, people that have full-blown businesses as well, you can't overcomplicate the process. And granted, I can't take credit for the way that I'm phrasing or paraphrasing this quote, but complexity is literally gonna get you. So you have to ask yourself, why is it that we find ourselves overcomplicating the process and making things more complex than they need to be? And when it comes to complexity, it's fairly simple. Our brains thrive off of complexity, and we want the goals that we have in mind to be complex so that we aren't afraid of the fact that we've been doing things wrong for so long. It's either that or we have some misconception about what it actually takes to achieve the goals we have in mind. And it's almost easier if we make them complex in our brain so that we create some distance there, so that we're not afraid of not achieving it because it feels like, oh, well, it's okay we didn't achieve it because it's kind of hard anyway. So if it's hard and I didn't achieve it, it's okay because I gave it my all and I wasn't able to see results. And you can't do that. Overcomplicating the process is going to not only delay you, it can stop you. Does that mean that a full-blown, in-depth, in detail business plan or the steps that you need to follow to get to your goals need to be 100% simple? No. What I'm saying is there is simplicity in the next step that you need to do. Whether you're just starting out or whether you're a veteran, I want you to take a moment to really think, how many times have you found yourself doing busy work instead of work that moves the needle, right? A lot of people get frustrated, or they feel overwhelmed, or they might feel like they're just not getting where they want to be. And many times it's because they're not doing the things that work. And what keeps them from doing the things that work is analysis paralysis. People are looking for so much information online. They're like, what is this? What is that? And very quickly, their goal in that moment, it shifts from doing the thing to learning about the thing. And once you do so much learning about the thing, and that's now the goal, you complete it, quote unquote. And once you complete it, you're tired and you don't have the energy to now do the thing. And that's just another aspect of overcomplicating the process. In last week's video, I touched on not worrying about having everything perfect, but worrying about what's your next best step. What's the next best thing that you can do right now to move forward? And sometimes, because it's contingent on the context of what you're going through, and it also depends on the person. Just because I say you need to do things A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, doesn't mean that that's the exact way that you need to do them. Some people might be able to move steps around, and we're not talking about just shortcuts. We're just talking about the process of doing something and getting that thing done. For instance, if I tell you that you need to do some market research, and I say, you know what, you're working your 9 to 5, you need to really tap into your 5 to 9. That's a topic that I talk a lot about because it's so important, especially for people still working a job. And I say, as soon as you're off work, you need to do this market research. That is the step that needs to be done before everything else. That's what you need to worry about. However, you might be a person that doesn't focus the moment that they get off work. Some people actually do need to decompress. Some people need to go to the gym. Some people just need to relax, go for a walk, go on social media, whatever it might be. But what I'm getting at is what's optimal for you will allow you to easily not complicate things and figure out and finish that next best step. If you know that from the time you get off work until the time that you go to sleep, it's so hectic, then at that point, okay, cool. KJC said in order to get everything that I need on track, I need to knock out some market research as soon as I get off work. But I know that I'm not going to pay attention, not because I can't, but just because I got so many different things that I already committed to. So you know what? How about I know that I'm not afraid and I can actually wake up early. Instead of waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work, I'm going to wake up at 6:30. I'm going to, I'm going to get my coffee. I'm going to get my stuff together, and I'm going to really lock in for a solid 45 minutes before I even start my day. That's an example of somebody that's not complicating the process, but making it simple to them. They're not sidestepping or taking a shortcut and just moving to step 2, 3, 4 without completing the first step, but they're figuring out a way that works for them, that complements them, for them to be able to accomplish it. And by doing that, you get past 1, you get to step 2. And so many people, again, they get in their mind. And many people just talk about mindset. It's something that you can't get past if you don't have the right mindset. And let me put a little caveat there. Let me put a little asterisk there, because there are some people that will put no thought into why they're doing what they're doing or how they're doing it. They legit just follow the direction and their body moves, and they said do this, I just did this. It doesn't matter if I felt tired, if I felt like I had energy, if I was upset, if I was happy. They said do this, and then they do that. Low key, that's one of the best ways to get a lot of work done. But that's not the reality of the world, Most people aren't hot-wired that way. And is it their fault? Yes, to an extent. But as I said previously, and as I say often, companies spend billions of dollars to get your attention. Earlier, I said this content isn't free. because it isn't free. Though you're not paying me a single dollar, you're paying me with your attention. And what you put your attention to is much more valuable than your time, because your attention goes towards your time. You feel me? Like I was saying, you got to figure out what works best for you, right? And in order to find out what works best for you, you need to have the proper strategy. Now, I'm not going to make this video about strategy. I could be here for hours talking about strategy. Most people will say that strategy is not the most important thing. However, it truly is, because finding a strategy that works for you and complements you is everything. As I said before, nobody knows you the way that you know you. So, by coming up with a strategy that motivates you is going to be much better than you looking at a strategy online. I don't know what happened there. We had some technical difficulties, but it is what it is. I'm trying to make the people that get into entrepreneurship more successful, not by selling them a specific business model, but by giving them what they need to make it through the journey, to keep them from quitting faster than they would, to give them the exact guidance they need around the detours and the delays that we all find ourselves hitting. And by doing that, I'm able to not only give back, but I'm able to help people create profitable businesses. And that just helps everybody. I know the stresses of having a job, and I know the stresses of seeing your employer making all this money and it trickle down to you, and you're like, what am I doing? I'm not making no money. I know the stresses of living paycheck to paycheck, and I also know the stresses of having money and not knowing what to do with it. Having a couple $1,000s in the bank and saying, all right, I need this money to make more money. No matter what stage you are in, I just want you to understand that being an entrepreneur and signing up for entrepreneurship is something real. And as I said before, it's something that should be respected. And the easiest way to get through it is to know that if you have the right mindset. Actually, you know what? Technically, I put this in the video before, but there's only two things, kind of, that anybody's going to sell you. They're going to tell you, one, you need the right mindset. You need to have the right mindset going in and the right mindset to hold yourself through everything, through the ups and downs, regardless if you're feeling on top of the world one day and at the bottom of the world the next. The second thing they're going to say, and technically it's number 3, but the second thing that they're going to tell you are 3 words that they can just throw around. I was going to make a compilation of this, actually. Just all the people that you follow and just having them say these 3 words, these 3 words, so you can see that it's also the thing that takes away a little bit of accountability on their part, because it's up to you. It's not up to them. They're going to tell you, you need to do the work. It's that simple. Mindset and do the work. The third thing that they don't necessarily say, some people say, but they allude to, is you need to be in the right vibration. You need to have the right frequency. So mindset, frequency, do the work. Mindset is like, okay, cool, conceptual. Frequency is like, well, that's a little woo-woo. What do you mean by frequency? A little bit of law of attraction in there. And then do the work. All right, those 3 things, you don't got to pay $9.97. Again, you can check out the video on my YouTube channel. I think I still have a video on my social media, but that's, if you're getting into entrepreneurship or if you feel yourself as stuck, focus on those 3 things, because those 3 things are going to help you get through it. And whereas those 3 are the most broad things, those 200 different things that I told you about, I have in everything entrepreneurship. It's going to be structured, not just in this podcast and on my YouTube, but I'm going to put it in a place that you can actually reference so that you could just be like, hey, I got this problem. And you'll be able to see this course or this video a couple hours long. If it needs 10 minutes, it needs 10 minutes. If you need 2 hours, you need 2 hours. Whatever it takes so that you can get that question or that problem solved. But yeah, so these episodes, I think the last episode was about 20 minutes. I don't need these to be too long. You feel me? Next week, again, I'm trying to put a lot into these. So next week, I'm going to be putting in time into another topic. This is a little bit more free flow, talking about everything entrepreneurship. If you made it this far, thank you again for listening. Send this to somebody else. Send this to another entrepreneur that you rock with so they can feel this motivation. They can figure out exactly what they need as well. But without further ado, I'm Kyle Jerome Carter. This is Everything Entrepreneurship, the podcast. Follow me, do what you got to do. Until the next time. All right.